Zarls football back at it again. This week, today we're talking about veteran contracts. Okay, let's start off with Matt Ryan. He's counting for $19 million this year and $32 million in 2023. That's 2 years full of money, just eating Colts dead cap, just munching on it, taking it. And so he has not been playing great. Even got benched for Sam Ehlinger, which, the Colts situation, don't even get me started with that, man. They are not doing great. I don't know what they're thinking. I think Jim Irsay is absolutely off the rails. Jeff Saturday, good pickup for a win and almost beat the Eagles. What the heck? So, he's been playing okay in the last 2 weeks, but there's really nothing that I'm impressed by. He's definitely regressed a lot this year, and not someone I think the Colts are excited to keep playing. So, and I don't know, maybe they're trying for a playoff spot. They've picked up they're 1-1 with Jeff Saturday, so maybe this weekend we'll see what happens, and hopefully Matt Ryan continues to play well and they can make the playoffs, or maybe not hopeful, because they're definitely done with Matt Ryan, in my opinion. I don't think he's coming back next year. So yeah, what are they gonna do? Draft Will Levis with the 20th pick? That wouldn't be bad, but wouldn't be great either. I think. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think this is gonna really set up a precedent, which I'm gonna talk about in a little bit with the Russell Wilson contract. So yeah, hold that thought. But yeah, Colts not looking great. Not happy for them. Not a great situation. Okay, next up, we got the Russell Wilson contract. Boy, is this a doozy. Man. Okay, counts for $107 million in 2023 and $85 million in 2024. And it continues to go down a little bit until 2026. So they've got his contract for, 4 years? And not playing it well at all. Yeah, I predicted this regression. I didn't think it was going to be this harsh. But definitely the tape I watched of Seattle last year with him was not good. And so I definitely think it's played out here in Broncos. Their offense is literally anemic. Probably worse than the Jets and the Panthers, which I was talking about in the last video. So go check out that last video. I was talking about their offense and their QBs. So definitely something to watch out for, and it really sucks for Broncos fans. One of my best friends is a Broncos fan, and he was talking a bit about it. And we were saying he was joking about he was going to trade them to the Colorado Rockies, and he was to keep him in that $25 million mansion of his, and just get him off the team at this point. Not playing well. Definitely something's going on with his personality. He is kind of a lot of this. He's very self-centered, is what I heard Athletic was talking about, actually, the Athletic podcast, and they were talking a bit about the just how he was really self-centered and was creating a lot of drama that wasn't needed. We're looking back at the London flight. We're looking at, the Subway commercial. I don't know. And a lot of his interviews and stuff, just very self-centered, and I don't have a lot of trust in Russell Wilson anymore. And he could still pull it up. That franchise guy made a pretty good film analysis of his tape pretty early on, a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't great. So, but he said that it had promise, So definitely something to watch out for. I think this is going to, like I was talking about earlier, this is going to set up a big precedent. So president is just kind of it's a term in law or something, I don't know. But pretty much it's the like what other times are going to happen, like what other veteran QB contracts are going to look like in the future, and what teams are going to do with that contract. So I think the Russell Wilson contract, I mean, it's a huge contract, and now they're going to have to decide what they want to do in the future, and be it like try to trade him for like a 7th round pick and try to get off as much dead cap as they can and just cut their losses, or continue to like hold him as a backup. I mean, or anything else. Ask him to retire, force him into a retirement potentially even. Like those are all possible options. Would it be more ethically like good, like morally? Like I don't know, but definitely something to watch out for. The Russell Wilson situation is going to set up a precedent for a whole bunch of other situations like this and veteran QB contracts that are in the future. Okay, next up, actually, let me sip a drink of my water. I've heard people say that these look like they got stolen from a restaurant. They're not, trust me. I did not steal them. I bought them at Goodwill, so shout out to Goodwill if you ever need some of those cups. You might be able to find them. Okay, we're going to talk about Deshaun Watson. Hasn't played it down since 2020. Just getting back to practice. And he's got $230 million guaranteed for 5 years. Technically, Deshaun Watson is a veteran because he's out of his rookie contract. So that's why I'm including him in this video. Deshaun Watson, man. The Browns have really, like, if this works out, it's going to be insane. But the last 2 quarterbacks, and even more of the quarterbacks that I'm going to mention in this list, their contracts have completely overperformed what the players have, you know. So hopefully he works out. That is an insane number. I mean, we're talking like, what is that? That's half of Patrick Mahomes' contract. So in 5 years? Yeah, I think that's right at like pretty much half of Patrick Mahomes' contract. So imagine that, half of you're pretty much paying Patrick Mahomes. So you've got to expect Patrick Mahomes, and I have no expectation of Patrick Mahomes out of Deshaun Watson that hasn't played in 2 years and has been surrounded by controversy. And I mean, for good reason. Controversy for good reason. I definitely would not have done this. You know, I think this is. But, I mean, this could play out in the future for the Browns really positively. And, again, these quarterback contracts are really going to set up a precedent. Like, these are some of the biggest, some of the quote-unquote, like, controversial, or, like, just, like, they have a very large variability on what could happen with these contracts. And a lot of them aren't turning out well, and a lot of them are it's almost historical contracts and historical situations. And this offseason is going to be really fun to look at and analyze what these front offices do with these contracts. So a couple other contracts I wanted to talk about, just little minor ones. Carson Wentz's, I mean, the Colts are again eating a whole bunch of dead cap off of that. And it's already not looking good for the Eagles. I don't know why they would do this. He's injured a lot. He didn't play well with the Colts, but he did play better than Matt Ryan is right now. So I'll give him credit for that. But they traded quite a lot. They traded a couple of draft picks. And I just think that those draft picks could have easily gone to something better. I don't even know what the Eagles want to do. The Commanders want to do at this point. If they want to, I mean, they're benching him right now for Taylor Heineke, so you're already giving up on your veteran QB. I don't know if they're not really still in the playoff hunt. They could maybe be a wild card, but the NFC East is already pretty much sealed with the Cowboys and the Vikings. I mean, sorry, not the Vikings, the Eagles. Boy, and so yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. It's sad to see the Commanders like screwing up this way, just like how the Colts have been. So I'm hoping that, like, I don't know, if they get eliminated from the playoffs, I think you start Sam Howell, see what he's doing, and see what his future looks like. So, but I mean, we're not talking about quarterbacks right now outside of their contracts. So back to contract talk. Carson Wentz's contract. I think it's supposed to expire either this year or next year. So that one's kind of minor. It's more on the Colts. Like that's kind of a big L for the Colts. Aaron Rodgers contract, boy, what is that? 5-year extension they signed like last year or this offseason, and already not looking good. I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I said, these are a lot of presidents that are gonna set up for this, and so the Packers definitely aren't looking good. They're pretty much eliminated from the playoffs. Do you look at benching Aaron Rodgers for Jordan Love? Like, that's a very reasonable thing to think of, and it's definitely a situation that the Packers, if they were smart, could be in. But I don't know what they're going to do. And then lastly, the Matthew Stafford extension that he also got by the Rams. What was that, 4 years, like right after the Super Bowl pretty much? Also not looking good. Looks like he'll probably be out of there in a year or two. Regressed heavily. And I'm not going to blame the Rams too much for that. I think they should have thought that through, but I don't think they expected to be this bad and have their O-line to be this bad as well. I think they thought that they were going to have a better team, maybe even a playoff team. This looks like a very average, middling team, just kind of regressing at this point. They lost a lot of good players. They still have some good players, but their offensive line is absolutely atrocious. Horrible to watch. And so it's going to be interesting what they do in the future, especially with Matthew Stafford's trade extension, and potentially even drafting a new quarterback, maybe in the 4th or 5th round. We could definitely see that this upcoming season.